Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Marshall broadcasting from Urban Palms in Houston, Texas. Trying to get my costume right. Yeah, so Halloween is upon us, and we'll still have the COVID pandemic going on. So what I'm gonna be talking about is how to trick or treat safely. You know, um, so I know some states are kind of they've like canceled. Well, not maybe canceled trick or treating. But if you're in a place where you're still like you can still go trick or treating, I have a few tips that I like to share. You know, for your safety or the safety of your kids, if you know what I mean. Okay, Mike, this costume is it's kind of difficult. Yeah, bear with me. I'm gonna be reading from Hershey's Happiness.com. So I just took a couple of tips out of there that I'll be willing to share with you guys. Thank you. So this one goes out to trick or treaters. It says trick or treaters. So they got a couple of tips to help you socially distance while you trick or treat. So these are just some tips that you should bear in mind. The very first thing on this list says, stay home if you're sick. Now, this is not just about trick or treating. It's just, having to deal with this pandemic. You just got to stay home if you're sick, so you don't, so you're not a problem to other people that you might come across. So stay home if you're sick. That's the very first thing. Now, the next thing on the list says, trick or treat with people that you live with. We've been talking about social distancing for a couple of months, so it's most ideal for you to hang out with people that you live with. So if you're gonna go trick or treating, go trick or treating with your family, your friends, or the people that you live with. That's the best way to keep it, or one of the best ways that you can keep it safe. Another one says remain 6 feet apart from people not in your household. So when you're trick or treating, try to maintain social distancing as well. If you come across your friends, your neighbors, try to keep about 6 feet apart. One thing is this: you know how you handle yourself in your household, but you don't really know how your friend or your neighbor handles himself in his household. So maintain 6 feet when you come across people who are not in your household. Wear a mask, like we've been saying for a while now. Wear a mask, cover your nose, cover your mouth, stay protected. Hand sanitize. Sanitize your hands as often as possible, before you eat, most especially, if you're trying to have some candy on the way, which I don't advise you should, just make sure you have your hands sanitized. And the moment you get home, wash your hands. So this tip says hand sanitize frequently while out, especially during key times like before eating or after coughing or sneezing. So try to sanitize your hands as much as possible. Then the last tip on the trick-or-treating point, or trick-or-treaters point, says wash your hand as soon as you return home. Some of you probably wonder I'm dressed as Gandalf from, I don't know, man. I'm not really into fantasy. Is it Lord of the Rings? Did I get that right? Yeah, I think Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. That's what I'm dressed as. I like this beard. I'm a beard guy. Okay, so a couple of tips for homeowners says the traditional Halloween decoration might look a bit different this year. Check out these tips to create a safe celebration setup for your neighborhood ghosts and monsters. So the first tip for homeowners says, do not hand out candy if you're sick. If you're sick, please do not hand out candy. You're not trying to get your neighborhood sick, Next point says, wear a mask covering both your nose and your mouth. So if you're gonna get the door, please make sure you have a mask on. Next point says, take the Safe House Pledge and register as an official Halloween safe house. Before today, I didn't even know about this, but please take the Safe House Pledge and register as a Halloween safe house. officially. Next point says use duct tape to mark 6 foot lines in front of your home. So in order for us to encourage social distancing, we got to use duct tape to mark 6 foot lines outside of our homes. So when the kids or whoever comes around to come trick or treating, they can observe social distancing. Next point says position a distribution table between yourself and the trick or treaters. Bingo. Have a table in front of you. Put your candy, your chocolates, whatever, to create a form of barrier or a barricade from you and the trick or treaters. Next point goes distribute candy on a disinfected table to eliminate direct contact. So have the candy in a bucket or bowl, whatever, on a disinfected table, and try to avoid a whole lot of hands touching the table at the same, as well. So distribute candy from the table. Of course, the table is going to serve as a barricade as well from you and the trick-or-treaters. Wash your hands often. Last point for the homeowners. So please wash your hands often. Now the next category is for parents. It says, if you're like most parents, safety is always on top of your mind this time of the year. Here are a few tricks to help keep your children safe and ensure fun time is had by all. First point, stay home if you're sick. Now, if you notice, all the categories have that point, stay home if you're sick. We can't emphasize that enough. Stay home if you're sick. Next point says, talk with your children about safety and social distancing guidelines and expectations. You want to have that conversation with your kids. You want to tell them about social distancing and safety when they carry themselves or when they're outside trying to, get candy from the neighbors. So it's your responsibility to educate your parents on that. To educate your kids on that. Now the next point says, guide children to stay on the right side of the road always to ensure distance. So just as easy as it says, you have to guide your children and let them know to stay on the right side of the road. Other point says, carry a flashlight at night and ensure your children are wearing reflective clothing. This might be a hard one to pull off because a lot of kids, want to dress up in their Halloween attire just like I am right now. So it'll be for the safety. It'll be great if you can have a way to improvise and have them understand that they should wear reflective clothing. And if you're going out with them, carry a flashlight and also try to wear reflective clothing and maybe shield the kids when you're walking so the oncoming traffic or whatever can see you. And in other words, as a matter of fact, give way. Another point says, wear a face mask covering both your nose and your mouth. Touche. Just like everything that we've said, wear a face mask. Wash your hands as soon as you return home. Make sure in all of this, and stay home if you're sick. If you're not sick and you want to trick or treat, wear a face mask, wash your hands, take a hand sanitizer with you as well so you could disinfect properly. Then lastly, which is also very important, inspect the candy. Before your children start to eat the candy, inspect it, just to make sure it's right. I'm gonna put it that way. So inspect the candies before your kids start to eat it. And after inspecting the candies, also, wash your hands, especially before you eat the candies. Lastly, I'd like to conclude by saying that if you're kind of worried about all of this stuff, you can still have a good time with your family at home. So, get some costumes, get your kids, your husband, your wife, whatever is the case may be, get the whole family together. Y'all can play dress up at home and have a bunch of candies and enjoy the Halloween staying at home with your family as a unit. It's still a way to, make sure you're safe and make sure everybody's safe around you. Now, I know some states or cities are talking about canceling Halloween trick-or-treating for this year. If that happens, you can still have a great time at home. if it's not canceled in your city or your neighborhood or whatever, you know, practice these tips. You know, make sure you adhere to the tips that we just that I just talked about. You know, stay home if you're sick. Wash your hands. Sanitize. Wear a mask. Wear reflective clothing. Disinfect the tables if you're somebody who's going to hand out candies. You know, so just go through the video, look through everything that we said, and you know, practice it. So I hope I've been able to educate somebody here today. If you like this video, please hit the like button, make a comment, you know, tell us what you think. Thank you very much. It's always fun doing it with y'all. My name is Marshall. For today, I'm Gandalf. You know, have a good weekend, okay? Thank you guys very much. Bye-bye.